Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to another episode of the MMO Lore Seekers channel. We're taking a look at some of the items that I have found extremely amazing since the launch of this server. I'm currently on the Teak server, which is the most populated server currently on Live EverQuest. And so I want to show you guys a couple of items that I found like amazing. One of the first things I did that I like to do on TLP servers is I bind at the location known as the fire pots. I'll show you guys in a bit, but it allows you to teleport to different cities and things around Norath, which is really nice. But show you a couple of these items here that I got. This is what's known as the Year of the Dark Pole, excuse me, celebrating the 25th anniversary of EverQuest. Wow, time has flown by. Anyway, first item I want to show you guys. It's a Clickie item. These items are all on the same timer. But this first item here is a teleportation device. Has a recast time of 30 minutes. And it allows you to teleport to North Row. Okay. Here we have another item, which is of the same variety, on the same cooldown timer, that allows teleportation to Dagner's Cauldron. So you have North Row on Antonica, Dagner's Cauldron on Fadewar. Here we have the Worker Sledge Mallet. Now, something very important to note that on the Teak server, a lot of items are tradable. So if you notice, the Worker Sledge Mallet is not a no-drop item here. It is a tradable item. It weighs 80 pounds. However, I keep it in a weight reduction bag, the Larian Satchel. All right. So that's a teleportation to Kunark. So that's 3 continents right there. Forgive me, I have allergies going on right now. And here's another teleportation to Kunark, which is a Clickie on the same 30-minute timer that allows me to teleport to the Lake of Ill-Omen. All right, so it's very nice to have these different teleportations because this teleportation to the Lake of Ill-Omen gives me close proximity to uh, Cabalus, where the OT hammer kind of puts me at another end of Kunark. All right, so moving on. One of the most obvious clickies that most characters have is the Journeyman's Boots, which is increase your movement run speed. But I also have an item that drops from Luclin called the Fused Mnemonic of Kadi Shah. And if you notice, it's a clicky Spirit of Wolf. So a very nice item to allow you to run at Spirit of Wolf speed. And it is clickable at level 1. Normally, this is a no-drop item, but it can be sold and traded uh, via the bazaar or player trade window, whatever have you. So very nice item. When you're leveling personas, it's nice to have the William Coldane rings because it gives you this Shield of the Eighth, which is I believe it's an 8-point damage shield. You know, so a clicky is actually a permanent buff. If you can see right here, I have it here as a permanent buff. So you can click that at level 1, and it will allow you to have an 8-point damage shield, which will, it's not necessarily, a mage or druid 50-ish damage shield, but it's pretty good. All right, well, I was hovering over this, so show this to you next. The eye patch of the plunderer. Well, first off, I have a beast lord and paladin persona. You'll see that I have 4 level 60s so far. So the eye patch of the plunderer is very good for the beast lord and paladin persona. However, I do have another function for it if I can find the item. Bear with me, please. I have a bunch of crap in here. So you notice I have some large size bags. Um, hmm. Let's do it this way since it's so difficult to find. I don't like to show off so much of my stuff, but um, let's say type. Let's put in one hand piercer. Okay, here we are. So I wanted to grab this item here to show you why I would use a haste item. So you can see here this item has a ability called Bone Shear, and it allows me as a Necromancer to use melee damage, like melee attacks, to proc bone chips. So I'm able to proc bone chips instead of having to farm them off of the various different skeletons in Norath. All right, well, returning back to some more of the clickies. Uh, okay, not the Apothic Crown. One of the, staple items is the pre-nerf Circlet of Shadow. So with this item, I am able to click Invis very quickly. As you can see, the cast time, which differentiates it from the non or other, excuse me, the nerfed Circlet of Shadow, is that the cast timer is not point one of a second, so it's almost instant click. See, so it's a very nice item to have. All right, moving on. Okay, we did all the teleportation items. So I guess we'll get into some of the Necromancer specific items. So, well, you know what? Before that, I like to. The reason why I like Persona so much is because it's like an ability to role play as different characters. So with my character in particular, my role play is I'm seeking power in by studying the different schools of magic and the various different disciplines. I can make myself a more powerful, formidable force. Now you see the title says plane of the plane of knowledge. Although we're not in planes of power yet, it'll be a couple of more days and planes of power will launch. But I am a lore guy, so I think the name and all that kind of fits me. So part of it is being like an enchanter. So items allow me to essentially be different races and stuff like that. So the guise of the deceive, excuse me, the guise of the deceiver is a an illusion item that you can click from your inventory. It's usually no drop, and it's the pre-nerfed because the post-nerf item is for bard and rogue only, and you can't click it from inventory as you can do here with this item, as you can see. So I can pretend like I'm a enchanter, and voila, I'm a different race and class. Right now, I'm a dark elf. Right. So my other illusion, racial illusion, is human. So depending on where I am and what I need to do, I can become a different race or class to fulfill whatever quest or whatever thing I need to get done. Right. So that's pretty nice. Um, Also, we have the Sarnok skeletal illusion. It was an item. It was an illusion, a clicky you could buy temporarily. I think it's pretty nice. Staying in line with the illusion type items. Um, so you can see right here, I have like no aura or whatever have you, and then I click my where is it at? Token of the obliteration army. So when I'm playing like a lighter class, I would use this version, which has like the if you see the little blue aura at my feet and at my hands, symbolizing like holy power or some type of positive force. But then when I play the Necromancer persona, which turns out to be my favorite at the moment, I have the darkness powers, right? So you see at my feet, I have like a little darkness aura, and at my hands. Now the army of light, or this light army, is representing Furion Vi and the different factions that came together that banded at the Battle of Bloody Kithakor, and then the Obliteration Army was under Lannis Taville and the Dark Elves and what have you in their alliances. So I like that clicky item. It's very nice. Moving on. Some necro. Oh wait, before I do that, I have another item here. You know, the pre-nerf fungi staff. So it operates a little bit like what's that shaman spell? Stoicism that we get later on, where it snares you but it heals you, kinda. It's essentially for classes that cannot use the fungi tunic. So if you can't use the fungi tunic, this is a good item to have in your inventory because you don't need to wield it. You can just right click it and bam, you see it right there, and it will improve your hit point regeneration, but it will make you move very slowly as you see right here. There goes my pet right there behind us. I love the level 59 pet, Emissary of Thule, which is pretty cool because the erudites worship Khazak Thule as necromancers, so the Emissary of Thule is pretty neat. But I was kind of trying to have him out of the shot as we go over some of the items. Right. Okay, so moving on. Um, so this item right here was okay leveling up. It's called the Bone Bracelet of Condemnation. It drops off of the Sorcerer Velkator in Velkator's Labyrinth, aka Velks. But it's a clicky nuke semi stun. Like the stun barely does anything, but you know, has a long cast time for 15 seconds. But you know, you run out of mana. It's a pretty decent item to have on hand to continue helping to kill your enemy, whether you're in a group or solo. Alrighty, moving on to. So these are like some of my favorite clickies, right? One of my favorite clickies as well, particularly when you're using classes that cannot cast levitate, such as cleric or paladin. But I would use it for the beast lord as well as the paladin persona. Actually, even the mage persona as well. Even though I can summon rings of levitation with the mage, it's easier just to have this little clicky item here, right? So the Pegasus feather cloak. This is part of the magician epic. I do have the epic on my magician, as many of you have seen in other videos, but it never hurts to have another one so you can click levy on yourself, right? 6 second cast, not a bad item to have. Actually, to be honest, it is my favorite classic clicky. Okay. Um. Also, that illusion, the guise of the deceiver, and the circlet of disguise, they're pretty nice items to have for my beast lord because he's an ogre, so he's giant, so it's almost like shrinking, right? All right. Well, moving on. This item is pretty nice to have for mana regen. So let's see if I have the spell up. So I have Spiritual Radiance on for another 10 minutes, which increases your mana and hit point regeneration. You get the spell casted on you by Beast Lords, and it's a very nice spell to have, and it will override the spell on this item, Orb of the Lost Souls, which drops in the deep. I forget the name of the mob, but he has like a haze belt that drops as well. It's a raid mob right outside. Man, the zone will come to me. But Shara Temple, SS Ra Temple. So this item, you can click it and it will give you a damage shield. Modest, very modest, but it's still a damage shield. And it will also increase your mana and hit point regeneration. It's called Boon of Recovery. Right. So I really love this item because when I'm not grouped with a Beast Lord, it stacks with KEI and other mana regeneration spells on that spell line. Um, we necromancers have a lich spell, so I'll show you that right now. The version I like to use is the Ancient Master of Death. The ancient spell lines. They're pretty nifty, hard to get, very expensive, but allows me to turn into a specter. And in addition to that, it um, gives me a mana regeneration. It actually overrides KEI, believe it or not. So your clarity spell line, KEI for those that may not know, that's clarity spell line. It overrides the 60 enchanter spell. So pretty neat. However, it does lower your hit points. Let's see if we can get the so grips your body in an unholy darkness, slowly draining your hit points while regenerating your mana. So if you go AFK with this spell on, you don't have any hit point regeneration buffs on, you're gonna die. Right? So I like to have my fungi staff for that purpose, right? To help regen the hit points. Um, in addition to that, I like to use this item known as the Demi Lich Skullcap. This item is freaking amazing. It came out in Kunark. It is the Ixar Necromancer class line. Now, attaining this item is possible for a non Ixar. How I did it was I killed the Ixar exiles that populate Kunark, and I killed them till I was no longer KOS to the guards. Then turning in bone ships allowed me to get faction with some of the other guilds. And then once you're no longer KOS to the Brood of Kotiz, which I believe is the name of the Necromancer guild in Kabbalist. Once you're no longer KOS to them, you can acquire. You can use a level 1 character, get the guild note, put it in the shared bank because the item's not no drop, and you can give it as whatever race class you are. You turn it in, and it will give you like 100 faction with the Brood of Kotiz, and you just keep doing that till you have enough faction to complete the quest line. So you cannot equip the. Well, actually, you can. You can. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. You can equip the Demi-Lich Skull Cap, and it has pretty decent stats, right? 10 AC, 50 hit points, 75 mana, 10 MR, stamina, intelligence, dexterity is pretty nice. You just lose. You get a little hit to charisma, but us necromancers, we don't really care so much about that unless we're charming. Not personality charming, but using the charm spell line to control undead enemies in the way that enchanters are able to control other NPCs. Right? So it has a dot called Morturnum, and that dot causes 122 damage every 6 seconds for a little under a minute. This effect will also heal you for the same amount. So it's almost like the vampiric spell line where it's like a life tap dot. Every tick it will damage the enemy and give you hit points. Well, this is a clicky mana free one, but you have to get to level 50 in order to use it. But it's a very, very nice item. Some call it the real Necromancer epic because the Necromancer epic is not very useful at all. But it's good to have for when you're looking to do the 1.5 epic and the 2.0. It kind of streamlines things for you there. All right, so there's that clicky. Moving on, this item right here is so good. Oh, by the way, that Demi-Lich Skull Cap, the final form of it anyway. I believe the Sorcerer's Cap is the 7th quest line for it. That one is not no drop, and so you can trade that and then continue on the quest line if you have the faction. Because you get a skull cap like every quest, and you turn it in along with the quest items, and then you get the next upgraded, ranked up skull cap, similar to like the monks' belts or whatever, or headbands. You continuously turn in the items, and eventually you get to the last quest, and you get this item. All right. So that in tandem with the fungus staff, the pre-nerf fungi staff, pretty nice. It makes you pretty godly. Like you're reaching a lot of hit points. I haven't tested it to see if it was if it stacks with this spell line here. Let's go down to taps, duration taps. You see Vampiric Curse, level 57 version. I skipped one of them. Vexing Mordinia. I don't know if those two spells stack with one another, but nice item. So this item here, Zephyr's Shroud of Despair. Pretty good stats. Normally no drop. It's a pretty good set of shoulders. However, the really big part of the item is it's a clicky splurt. Now, those of us know that splurt is a level 50 Necromancer spell. It's a dot. One of the top used ones in PvP on EverQuest PvP servers, and I love it. As you can see, that's my number two spell slot right there. I throw that around like nobody's business because it's mana free. I love clickies. It's just, as you can already see, I have a lot of them, and they're very useful. See if we have any more clickies on hand. I'm trying to think there's any other items of interest. There are other clickies that exist, but these are the ones that I found. Like I gotta have these, right? See, like the Shrunken Goblin Skull Earring. It's a nice if you wanna on a PvP server. We used to use it for is you'd put it in your top slot. People start pelling you. You can click your Goblin Skull Earring. You can click your J Boots, and you can spam click a couple other insta clickies, and they wouldn't be able to get your good buffs like your MR, your hit points, your mana regen, and whatever have you. Right. So quickly want to show you guys who may not have been playing during this year of the Dark Paw. There's a thing called the Tower Quests, and they give some pretty nice items, and they're very easy to do. It's like you do some quest lines. You do quest lines to get these keys, and these keys give you access to different floors in the tower, and you can do it in a group, and it's really nice. So you get items like this. You get points, and you can spend those points to buy items. So this item in here is pretty nice because it allows you to shrink your pet. Right. As a matter of fact, I probably should shrink my pet right now. Did I shrink him? Let's see. So I'm gonna have to. Yes, I did. All right. He's kind of big in here. So it's a very nice item. Allows you to shrink your pet, but it also has an item called Focus Effect Minion of Darkness. So it increases the power of certain summoned and animated servants. Right. So this is like for your Beast Lord, your Necromancer, and your Mage. You're gonna want this earring as opposed to the other one you can get that other classes will probably wear. But this one also mana regen, hit points, tons of stats, some MR, right? You can also get the augs that add to it, right? You see, so 5 of the whiz, 5 of the intelligence, even the region and all that. I added it using augs, which these augs come from the same uh, event, I guess. Yeah, the tower, right? So his earrings are nice. The mask also very nice. Stats, hit points, you know. So you have the ears, you have the mask, you also have the helm. What I really like too is these. They release certain ornaments, which are items you can put inside, so that you alter the appearance of the items of the gear that you're wearing. Right. So the polished spectacles, as you can see, if we zoom in a little closer here, maybe if I move this bag out the way, you can notice that I have pair of glasses on. Matter of fact, maybe we should be zoomed in from this point on. Maybe I should have started at this angle. You can always. No, that's not what I meant to do. Um, I guess I can't do that with this app running. All right, all good. We got a recording as priority. Hello there, library assistant. So you can see my glasses there. I got this for the year of the Dark Pole. I think it works so well with my historian persona or personality, since we have personas in the game. I don't want to confuse anyone, but my role playing character thing, right? Glasses I think go well. Anyway, also you have this neck piece here, right? Good stats. Put Augs in all of them. It comes with a back too, but I chose to keep this back piece on because it has the 4 mana region, 3% to evocation. Pretty nice item. See if we have anything else. You can see, I'm not self buffed. I have what's this called? Ancient Gift of Egoism. So we're just gonna cancel that. We'll get another one on later, so you can see my hit points is at 4,500 unbuffed, right? So I don't have any buffs on. Let me throw one buff on though. Whoops, let me hit that. Yes. Let's throw one buff on really quickly. Shield of the Magi. Let's do that. But yeah, I think we covered all of my important clickies. You know what? Speaking of that mana region, I think my buff wore off. So let you guys take a look at the Boon of Recovery. Right? So gives me some nice little ruin right there. Tall Shield of the Magi on me. All 4 casters have this spell line. The shielding spell line. Alright, so self buffed I'm at 4.7, 4.8. Around there. So my weapon, this is not my weapon. It has an ornament on it. The weapon I have is the Mind Puncture. And it's alright. Decreases some mana, it's alright. But I have the Solar Sect Roll Mace ornament that you get from the tower missions I was mentioning earlier. So I thought it looked pretty cool. It's like a little flaming mace, magical item, and you see my little shield here. I got this off the Daybreak store. Excuse me, Daybreak store. It's pretty, you know, the Umbral Forge shield ornament. I like it. Shield of the Creator. Stats aren't that great, but it has the 6 mana region, so it's very nice. Right. In my ranged, I have the Willful Dirk of Domination. Has 2 more mana region on it. Some stats. Right, so I like that. In the ammo, what's that? Sorry, you all. Allergies. So I mentioned earlier. Some tissue here. So this is the Grandmaster Smith's Hammer. You're able to summon the Grandmaster Satchel. Right, so we go ahead and click that. Right, so if you need a weight reduction bag, you can go ahead and put that right there. Let's take a look at that. Right, it's temporary, no trade, and all that. But I believe with no trade items, if you put items in there and you log off and log back in, it should enable you to keep those items. I know that's how it works with the Magician no rent bags, right? But it's a 10 slot bag, 100% weight reduction. Um, Very much like it. All right. Seems like see the lich form. You see how my health is at 88%, even with the fungal regrowth. Still losing a lot of health. So we're just gonna cancel this ability because we don't need mana. Right? We're fine with that. Okay, let's see if there's any other items. Obviously, for my Beast Lord, I love this the ancient prismatic mace. Different prismatic weapons because it allows you to proc avatar. But I don't want to get into my other persona items and stuff like that. It's not that big of a deal. Until Planes of Power opens up, these elixirs of greater concentration allows you to give yourself, you know, a potion of clarity, I guess. So these were used prior to um, Planes of Power opening, and you being able to just pick them up off the merchant. as well as heal potions, haste potions, heal over time potions, what have you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to. Oh yeah, also I have this off the cash shop too. I have what we call attendant Jalia. She says some pretty neat things. Make way, historian coming through, and just different things like that. Like she'll heal you every once in a while. Look at that, that's pretty nice right there. I like the effects of when I summon her. But that's attendant Jalia. I guess she can come with us for now. And let's see here. Yeah, so I'm gonna change personas now to the mage, so I can show you guys the fire pots. Oh yeah, how did I forget this Clicky? There's another Clicky I want to show you guys. Should have put them all in the same bag. Some of them are not in the same bag. Um, fingers. Yep. So this item here, I really like. No, 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 no. There we go. So I really like this item here. Just in case that item doesn't, I don't want to risk anything disappearing, so we'll just go ahead with this here. So this item here, it's clickable by cleric, ranger, druid, shaman, necro, wizard, enchanter. I know a lot of mages wish they could be able to click this item, but they don't have the ability to cast root. So I think that's the reason why they didn't enable mages to use it, because you got the pets and stuff like that, and you wouldn't even need a root pet to root, and it would kind of make them OP. But anywho, it is a 2 second cast of root, right? So show you. Wait, hold on. Let me put it back in its slot first, and then show you guys cast it on myself if I can. But it's a clicky root, so it's an item that comes in handy. And I have specific clickies for my mage and whatever have you as well. Hmm. Okay, I'm about to say, why can't I close my inventory? So you just right click it like that, and then bam, you could just click your root all you need to. Alrighty, so just in case you're wondering, we are in Payneal. This is one of my favorite libraries right here at the Athenaeum. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. Athanasium? Athenaeum? Okay. Athenaeum Necromantia. Right? So you have some of the heretics. They have their own library. And here's Ernax the Scholar. You can hail him. Well, I have to open up my chat. I don't really want to get any guild stuff in there. But anywho, all right. So let's change personas really quickly. I believe I won't be KOS on my mage. Let's give it a go here. He's indifferent. He's agnostic, so he doesn't have a god of worship. So I should be able to travel around Payneal with it without any issues. Right. I'm dubious, but I'm allowed to roam freely. Right. Even though our city state of Eridan has went to war with them and exiled them and persecuted them and all that. So you see, you have a different title now. I was Master Historian, and now I'm Archmage Historian. All right, so we've gated to Tamoris Deep. And Tamoris Deep is a zone in Kunark, right off of, I believe, Butcher Block Mountains and Feronia Bay, right? So if you look at it real closely on the map, right, and there is an NPC water dragon that runs around here, right? So you have the docks over here, you have another set of docks over here, depending on where you're trying to go, right? If you're trying to go to South Row, if you're trying to go to Butcher Block, or if you're trying to go to the over there, right? Or you're trying to go to Ferio Nevi. So this zone here is like a crossroads and stuff like that, right? Over here, I believe this is where the cleric epic is done at. You know, you got the Ixar statue over here and all that. But what I love about this zone, and you cannot bind in this zone. right? Let me attempt to bind myself here real quick so you can see. Well, hold on. Let me swap to. I can't swap. Let me try to bind myself. Hopefully, it won't screw up my already bind. Let me see here. Beneficial, miscellaneous, bind infinity. Right. So when Kunark first launches, you have a short window to bind in this room. Right. And I'll explain how you get here in a second. But you see, when I cast bind affinity, we look at our spells. Oh, I was able to bind here. I guess you can still bind here. Hmm. Let me let people know. So anyway, I don't want to get too distracted. But normally, at least, if you go on P99, originally on EverQuest Live, you could not bind in this zone after a certain point in Canard. And so these are all what you call fire pots, right? And they're the fire pots that are scattered around the different cities, right? So, for example, this is how they maintain lighting in Grob. That wood right there. If we, but yeah, you can see on my map here, all of the areas are labeled, right? So Tugukta is referring to um, Grob, right? You'll pop in Grob. Gukta, Guktins, the frogs, they're in the swamp, you know. Over here, this pot is the fire pot in Ogok for the ogres. This is the fire pot in Eridan. As you can see, it has the symbol of Eridan on the fire pot. This one takes you to Neriak. All right, you see the symbol, the Dark Elven symbol there. So if you just walk up to it and click on it, you'll be able to go there. Let me talk to this cursed traveler. See if he has anything to say. Anything? Yeah, he does have stuff to say. The eyes of the skeleton are bleak and dreary, as though the essence which keeps it standing, is not really there. Maybe that essence is miracle. A surreal look into the future for those who make their stay in the immediate room around you. The ominous figure does not make any sound but nods in your direction as if to tell you that he died here long ago by resting by the fire for too long. In your mind, you hear the eerie thoughts of this undead figure, alluding to the fact that it is unwise for you to remain here too long, lest the mighty water dragon overtake you as it overtook him. Well, I guess he's talking about this fire over here. But yeah, there is a water dragon that comes around here. He's part of the Druid epic, I believe. I think his name is on the map too. Yeah, there you go. Fadedar. So you might kick your behind if you sit here too long, right? All right, so you got Neriak, you have Kelethin right there. You see the symbol. So when you go around the cities, if you look around, you'll notice these types of fire pots, right? That's G-Fay. Which one is this one? Hollis. Yeah, so I don't want to use this fire pot too much because it's not really much over there. Unless I'm trying to see Lady Vox. All right, this should be Freeport. Right. That's Cabalus. Which one is this? Caledon? Yeah, Caledon. This should be Akanon, right? And this is Rivervale. All right, so that's all of them. And so you can travel around Norath various different ways, right? Okay, what did I want to show you guys? Where did I want to take you? Um, where should we go so I can show you guys how the fire pots work really quickly? Um, let's go to GFA. All right, so I didn't click on it. I just ran over top of it, and voila, I'm porting into GFA. The beautiful part about GFA is you can use your persona here because it's the starting zone for the Wood Elves. right? So here we are. We at the what else, whatever. But I guess the last thing I'll show you guys. Let me turn back into the Necromancer that I love to be. Right, we'll swap classes here. Send my minion over there to take care of that skeleton. Nope, no bone chip. All right, it's fine. It's pretty dark. You know what though? If I take this thing back out, put it. Yeah, there we go. We got a little light source now. It's not the best light source, but it's something. Also, with the mage persona, it's nice because I could summon pet weapons, armor, haste mask. It's pretty nice, right? But I wanted to show you guys. I was hoping it wouldn't be dark, but this mount was made available not too long ago, and I really like it. Look at that beauty, right? Nice little dragon mount. Allows me to feel like I'm flying on a dragon. You know, particularly when you have a levitate spell going, you can go really high, like in the Greater Fate arc, right? Let's gate real quick so you guys can take a look at Luclin real quick. Let's go. Let's gate and take a little walk around. You know what? What does this Levant spell do? Because I really want to test it. I think it's what does it do? Teleport you through the Shadow Realm, temporarily reappearing in reality at the safe point in the zone. I think this is a Necromancer only evac, like a self only evac. Let's give it a go. Oh, sickness! I have stepped into the shadows, into the Shadow Realm. Neato. All right, well, it ported me. I don't know if this is a safe point in the zone. What the? I'm a necromancer. These elves will slaughter me. I don't like to kill the orcs. And the reason why I don't like to kill the orcs, like even the orc pawns, I don't even like to buff people that are fighting them at the moment because the orcs have a relationship with the dark elves, some of the dark elf guilds. So if I kill too many orcs, I might be walking around Neriak one day and just get murdered um, for messing with their ally. So I avoided leveling in Crushbone and all that. I prefer to level up in Blackburrow just to not have to deal with that, and then go from Blackburrow to Unrest. And what's nice is when I'm leveling up other personas and I want to go to Unrest, I could just click this baby and be there instant. Not instantly. It'll take me 10 seconds, but I'll be there. So 13 people in GFA, not that many people. So you might get the impression that not so many players are still playing EverQuest because GFA is empty. What we have to realize is we have original EverQuest and there were 3 expansions in. So people have migrated to other areas, and now we're going to go to Luclin to take a look at the moon. Travel around on the moon. Right here. So you can see here, like if you try to run through this, it's like, well, you can't, but my levitate's allowing me to kind of get up high on these guys. But yeah, sometimes it's so crowded, you'll get stuck trying to get past whatever. But it doesn't seem like there's too many people here. But more than probably you might remember the last time you were in a Nexus, right? Um, but this is where they cast AOE buffs, so you can get a fresh Ego here, fresh KEI, you know, different buffs like that. Whatever classes can cast on others, So it's pretty nice. And I guess that'll be it for now, man. Because how long have we been recording? I don't want to do too much. Yeah, I guess we'll call it here. Do 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 do. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining me, man. Unfortunately for the next week or two, I'll be quite busy. I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but I do have a lot of interesting lore to discuss, and hopefully in the near future we'll be able to delve deeper into some other subject matters. There are some, great your lore channels that are much more active than I, and I try to follow them as well. And hopefully we can build a community where we can kind of retain this history and the legacy of such a tremendous game. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.